Number 10. Caesar Adrio's secret relationship ended. Christmas can be celebrated in many ways. Unfortunately, not everyone spends the holiday spending time with loved ones, unwrapping presents, or enjoying a family meal. In 2016, when most of the world was busy with Christmas feasts and other holiday activities, Caesar Adrio from Vigo, Spain, chose a more sinister way to spend the day. He murdered his girlfriend, Anna Hamill. The two were co-workers and had been in a secret relationship for some time, but ended abruptly 6 months after they moved in together. Adrio, who considered Hamill to be extremely controlling, was not happy with the breakup. To retaliate, he showed his dominance in a gruesome way and ended up stabbing Hamill to death. But how did he do it? The two had both attended their company's Christmas dinner, along with their other co-workers. Adrio approached his ex-girlfriend in a way that initially looked like a surprise, but soon turned deadly. He attacked Hamill with a knife and stabbed her in her chest and neck at least 30 times. According to the autopsy report, 12 of the stabs grazed her heart and 6 pierced right through it. Hamill was only 25 years old when she became a victim of Adrio's brutality. Apparently, he was delighted on seeing the defenseless woman being tortured due to his manic delusion of dominating over her. Adrio was clearly the primary and only suspect. The jury was convinced that the convicted man had indeed attacked his ex-partner with a knife. Adrio was sentenced to 30 years and 4 months for murder with cruelty, the crime of harassment, and the crime of violation of privacy. He also had to compensate the family of the woman with €87,900 for each parent and €25,400 for her brother. Number 9. Christmas parade kills girl. Christmas of 2018, for one unfortunate family, turned out to be the worst day of their lives. Why? Their 4-year-old girl was killed by a Santa Claus Christmas parade float in a small port town in Canada. A cheerful Christmas parade traumatized onlookers with a tragic twist. Everyone who was present at the parade was left in shock after witnessing a toddler fall underneath a parade float. The little one was running gleefully alongside the moving float and having the time of her life when she stumbled and fell. The little fall cost her her life. The screams and shuffle caused mayhem at the scene. She was immediately rushed to the hospital, but was pronounced dead shortly after. The incident sent waves of shock across the country, leading Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau to speak in support of the grieving family. Quote, "As a parent, words fail at times like this. Our thoughts are with the family of the young victim and with everyone affected." Number 8. South Carolina Christmas parade kills a young boy. Unfortunately, the little girl in Canada wasn't the only kid to have a tragic Christmas parade accident. A young boy, age 5, was also killed in an accident involving a float during a South Carolina Christmas parade. The boy, Amir Frazier, was being dropped off at his elementary school. The school's parking lot was close to the end of the parade's route. That's when the fatal incident occurred. As the Bluffton Christmas parade ended, little Frazier was rushed to a nearby hospital, but he didn't survive. The Bluffton County School District superintendent offered their condolences by issuing a heart-rending statement for his family. "When we miss one of our students, it's a deeply felt and personal loss. Each teacher, every school staff member, every administrator, each one of us is affected. And today, we're praying for Amir." Any Christmas-time death is awful, but losing a little one during the holidays is particularly brutal. Number 7. Mugged at husband's grave. A West London woman went to visit her husband's grave on Christmas Eve in 2015 and was confronted with a truly unpleasant surprise. As the woman, who was 73 years old, was cleaning her husband's tombstone, a mugger startled her from the back and snatched her handbag away. The poor woman was pushed to the ground. The accused made away with her bag, which was later recovered by an onlooker, but her wallet was missing. After stealing the purse, the mugger exited the cemetery and walked off swiftly towards the church road, whilst covering his face. The woman suffered minor injuries in the incident, but did not require hospital treatment. Well-wishers raised hundreds of pounds for the 73-year-old woman after hearing the story. While it may have made up for the lost wallet, it seems it was more about making her feel supported. Christmas Eve is a pretty rotten time to choose to rob elderly women of their purses. But while in a cemetery, that's especially awful. What do you think is worse, the mugging or the location? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you're enjoying the video. Number 6. Devastating road accident. Christmas time is filled with celebrations, spending time with family and friends, decorating the house, and shopping for loved ones. But on one such reunion celebration, a Christmas morning turned tragic for 2 friends. A vacation reunion of 2 Indian friends, Sarath Kumar and Rohit Krishna Kumar, ended in tragedy after both students were killed in a devastating road accident in Jebel Ali, Dubai. Their car collided with a tree in the wee hours of the morning of Christmas Day. Both friends died on the spot. Details of the crash remain unknown. Originally from Kerala, India, both young men were former students of DPS Dubai. Krishna Kumar was a former student at GEMS World Academy. This unfortunate incident happened while Sarath was dropping Rahit home after they met up the previous night. The two schoolmates were on vacation and planned to meet in Dubai. We assume that Sarath may have been jet-lagged and tired as both boys returned to Dubai only the day before Christmas, said family sources. Number 5. Man dressed as Santa kills ex-wife. On Christmas Eve in 2020, Bruce Jeffrey Pardo knocked on the door of his ex-wife's family's home where a Christmas Eve party was being held. When an 8-year-old girl opened the door, she saw Bruce Pardo standing in front of her, dressed as Santa Claus and carrying a gift-wrapped present. She excitedly ran to greet him. Pardo, however, entered the house and immediately shot the little girl in the face and began pumping bullets into the other partygoers. Bruce Pardo then unwrapped the gift he brought, which was actually a homemade flamethrower. Using the device, he set the home on fire. He killed 9 people in total, including his ex-wife, her mother, father, sister, and 2 brothers. 3 more partygoers were wounded, including the 8-year-old girl, who thankfully survived the gunshot wound. Pardo had an elaborate escape plan in place, and while he managed to flee the crime scene, he ultimately suffered third-degree burns on his arms and was found dead of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Number 4. Santa Claus bank robbery. 83 years ago, ranked as one of Texas's most shocking crimes, the Santa Claus bank robbery led to a widespread manhunt. A drama worthy of a Hollywood movie was playing out in the busy streets of Cisco on December 23, 1927. While shoppers were hurrying to finish up their Christmas shopping, Henry Helms, Lewis Davis, Marshall Ratliff, and Robert Hill were preparing to do some shopping of their own at the First National Bank. Bank robberies were extremely common during this time, and a $5,000 reward had been offered to anyone shooting a bank robber during the crime. As a result, the Christmas caper turned extremely deadly. Ratliff, disguised as Santa, was led out a few blocks away from their target, and he and his gang approached the bank. His costume, however, attracted the notice of several children, who followed him and the remaining 3 members of the crew into the bank. This strange scenario escalated once the group was inside, when the robbers drew their weapons and announced that it was a stick-up. A woman who entered the bank while the robbery was in progress managed to escape and informed the chief of police. And after Ratcliffe filled his Santa sack with money and exited the vault, the shooting began. Initially, Robert Hill spotted someone outside and shot at them. This led to the beginning of the firefight, where several citizens hoping to reap the $5,000 reward had gathered outside of the bank and began shooting at the gang. They, of course, returned fire. The robbers grabbed hostages, forcing them towards their cars, and while most escaped, 2 little girls were taken. The group attempted to escape, but between the shootouts, several wounded, and general chaos, they didn't make it far. They had to abandon the car after the tires were shot out, and while they escaped for a time, they were ultimately captured. The loot, which was later returned to the bank, amounted to $12,400 in cash and $150 in non-negotiable securities. Around 200 bullet casings were found around the bank. After a long wait, the greatest manhunt in Texas was finally over. They were sentenced to 99 years of jail time in January 1928. After several attempts of escaping prison and being recaptured, they were finally put to death by hanging in November the same year. Number 3. Killer Santa. Christmas in 2011, when a 56-year-old Texas man, Aziz Yazdinpana, entered his ex-wife's apartment while dressed in a Santa costume and fatally shot not only his ex-wife, but also their 2 teenage children who were opening their Christmas presents. He also shot 3 other relatives who were present at the home. Aziz was having problems dealing with his finances and was not happy that his separated wife was doing so well. Aziz was unemployed for almost 10 years, and his wife's success after they split up could be a possible motive for the murders, people close to the family said. Aziz's niece, 22-year-old Sarah, sent a text to a friend saying they had arrived at the apartment and that Aziz was there. "So we're here. We just got here and my uncle is here too. Dressed as Santa. Awesome." Sarah stated in a different text that her uncle was trying to be all fatherly and win them over, alluding to previous family tensions. "I think he was probably overwhelmed when it was all said and done and decided to take his life instead," police stated. However, cops believe that the financial and marital issues were a bigger part of the suspect's motive. They were still unsure of what drove him to the murder. Number 2. Bad Santa. A depraved man dressed as Santa drugged victims at a Christmas market in Berlin, including a 15-year-old girl. The accused approached the girl who was with her friend at the downtown Alexanderplatz Christmas market. He offered them a shot of alcohol in paper cups. One of the girls rejected, but the other one drank both of the shots. Soon, she started puking and had to be rushed to the hospital. The girl underwent blood testing before being released that revealed that she had indeed been drugged. Police said that her drink had been spiked with some type of date rape drug. A total of 8 people who drank the spiked spirits fell ill in Berlin. Shoppers in Germany were urged to watch out for a bad Santa who was poisoning drinks at Christmas markets. The bad Santa approached victims in various locations. The accused typically handed out alcohol in small bottles and claimed to be celebrating his child's birth. Most of the victims were young women. And number 1, killed over candy. A man decked out as Santa Claus, complete with a jolly red suit and gifts, stunned holiday shoppers by beating up an elderly woman. Elkin Clark, working as a mall Santa in Atlanta in December 2004, became enraged when the victim supposedly stole 29 boxes of Hershey's chocolates from him, though there were no witnesses to support his claims. According to witness Asia Albritton, who then tried to help the old woman, Clark threatened her with the wooden board. Nelson died 6 weeks later due to her injuries. Clark was convicted of malicious murder as well as simple assault of Albritton. The eyewitness who called the police said he had taken a board, swung, hit her, knocked her to the ground, and then proceeded to hit her again. Clark was later found guilty of murder. Thanks for watching. Have you experienced any unsettling incidents around the holiday season? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. See you next time.